Oh yeah, cracked my phone on my screen, which is nice.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, just in the bottom corner, like a dummy of dummies. Yeah, I was working and all of a sudden I decided to staple my box that I had, and I put my phone down because it was getting warm in my pocket. So I was like, I'm gonna let it air out for a little bit, and the next thing you know, crunch! Like, oh no! All right, let's see if you guys sound good. Go ahead and speak.
I'm talking. Can you hear me? Because I'm talking.
Waka 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 waka.
Holy snap! You got Pac-Man for this, dude? That's a good pull. That's a huge pull.
I need to get Ben or Adam Sandler on. We'll talk about Pixels. How terrible a movie that was.
I did not see it.
I
didn't
also
miss
have
much.
not seen the Pac-Man movie. No.
You didn't miss much. All right. So, N64, 30 years old. Craziness.
Yeah.
I know,
It's
right?
it feels like it just came out yesterday.
True. All right.
Are we live?
Yes, we are live. Hi,
Okay.
everybody.
Cool. Hi, everyone.
Yep,
Well,
which
y'all.
is mostly just me, I think, right now. Just to make sure nothing goes wrong, and it looks beautiful. Trying to set up a new stream section. Right?
It's okay. You look beautiful to me, and that's what matters.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to get a new setup, and I haven't figured out where I want to put it yet, so I've kind of moved around. I'm like, I don't like it here. I don't like it there. I don't like it anywhere. It's like Sam I am.
Gotcha.
But, all right. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
It's been a minute. Just kidding. It was like 2 days ago. Let's see. Put my phone on low power mode just so I can read my notes I made for myself because I'm a professional streamer.
Of course.
Fantastic.
All right. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 53 of JDUB and Friends. This episode will be about the N64 and 30th anniversary, which is nuts. I didn't know it was that old until I was looking up stuff for this year with the anniversaries. I'm like, what? That was my reaction, actually.
Yeah, a little ridiculous. A little.
Yeah.
I believe what we are, what folks call the elder millennials, or as old as dirt. I think is the other way to put it.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, it's crazy that that's been out for 30 years. The SNES is 35 years old. I'm like, man, I'm older than all these consoles all of a sudden.
I still remember like being a small child on Christmas morning. Santa Claus, the real one, flew in, came down our non-existent chimney, and left the Nintendo 64 with Diddy Kong Racing for my sister and I back in the year, I don't know, 1996. And I got Diddy Kong Racing and Mario RPG that year for Christmas,
nice.
and I think it was the best day of my life.
Yeah, definitely. That would be in my top 5.
Two good ones.
Yeah.
Top 3 at least.
Yeah, I was playing. I think the first game I got was Super Mario 64 because classic.
Yeah,
but there's so many good games that came on the N64. Bill just named the best racing game that came on N64.
Sure did.
Had a lot of first-person shooters that were great on the N64. Maybe the biggest two would be like Perfect Dark and GoldenEye.
Easily.
But when it first came out, I think it was kind of weird because it was the first console that came with a control stick. I mean, besides like the Atari 2600, but I mean, that was, this was way different than what that was coming out with.
Right.
Bill, when you first got your N64, what was your first game that you remember playing on it, and what kind of did it blow your mind as a little kid that, oh crap, this is really cool. This is the 3D, and
yeah, I got to race in a car as Diddy Kong, which kind of an insane thing. Although growing up, I was a tip-top main. Yeah, but I remember, playing the games, and I was like still a dumb young baby, so I needed my dad to help with like some of the races. I was like, Dad, I can't beat this octopus. And so he had to come through and show the octopus who was boss.
Yep.
Until I was old enough to do it myself. I watched my dad play a lot of Nintendo 64 growing up, because when it first came out, I was just too little, I guess, to play it. So, like, did I beat Ganondorf the first time I saw Ocarina of Time? No, I watched my dad smite the foul beast.
Yep. Now, Joe, do you remember like what your first couple memories of the N64 were, and kind of what games you looked into?
First game that we got is my parents would always buy me and my sister the next console at the end of the school year if we had good grades. So we got Mario Party was the one that ours came with. So we played a lot of that, and early on, I played so much Ocarina of Time on that. But kind of the funny thing is, my first experience of Ocarina of Time was on a cartridge that I guess had been messed with somebody using Game Shark, and it just completely borked the cartridge.
Oh, dang.
I went into the Temple of Time, played the song to put the stones on the altar, and I remember they like rose up and they all mashed together into one big stone.
What?
I never had any kind of experience like that with that game ever since then. Just found the one weird card.
Not surprised.
That's crazy. That's so bizarre.
Now, what, like, if you guys each had your own Mount Rushmore for the N64, what would your Mount Rushmores be? Or if Joe, you want to go first?
Sure. I think Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask would definitely be up there. And then probably like any of the Mario parties, really, they were all pretty good. But then I don't know. I really liked Mega Man 64, which really is Mega Man Legends. Mega Man Legends is better, so I guess I would maybe swap that one out for. I know that most people, if they were talking about 007, would probably say GoldenEye, but I had World Is Not Enough, and the World Is Not Enough had something very cool that not many games did, where they actually had bots for the shooting game matches. So I put that one up there because my neighbor and I played it all the time. And really, it's fourth one, I guess you could say. Just about any, like Mario Kart would be a good one. You can just about pick pretty much any other game that you enjoy for that one, because the good games on the N64 at the time were really good. So
yeah, definitely.
Probably Smash Brothers up there as well. I'm not sure how many has are on Mount Rushmore. 4 or 5.
4. Yeah, 4.
4. Okay, well, all right. Throw out my wild card and just put Smash there then.
There you go. I think I know one of Bill's, but the other 3 I'm not sure on.
I mean, let's see. If I had to go with a Mount Rushmore, one would have to be Banjo-Kazooie. Just a banger of a game. My favorite 3D platformer. I'd go with Diddy Kong Racing. My favorite racing game there. I'm going to say Mario Party 2.
Ooh, yeah.
Mario Party 2, absolute, like, super banger. And then the last game that I'm going to put on is Paper Mario, actually.
Okay.
Just maybe the best RPG on the platform.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, the N64 wasn't, oh, look, it's ghosts. Yeah, Scottish Fold.
Big cat.
Yeah. Got the 2, and that one's there. But yeah, I would agree with both y'all lists. I mean, there's a couple games that I personally grew up with. I love, like Jet Force Gemini that came out with Rare. That was one of my favorite shooters on the system. Besides, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, obviously. I'd probably put Pokemon Stadium on there just because
great game.
So much fun to play your Game Boy game on your N64, have a bigger screen to play it on. And at that time, it was CRT TV, so you know how that is.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the other two would probably be either Mario Party 2, I think, would be on there just because it was so cool to be able to, as you're going to each board, your character changes how they're dressed for each board, and you didn't have to worry about burning your palm trying to spin the stick.
Oh my god, tug of war, jeez.
Games.
You needed a glove for that.
Yeah, in Japan they were actually required to give gloves.
That's crazy.
And my fourth would probably be, it's just because it was so much fun to me, and it's probably not the best racing game on there, but Top Gear Rally. I love Top Gear Rally when I was growing up. So much fun. Very, underappreciated, I think, on the console, but, still.
I haven't even heard of it.
Oh, it was so much fun. They had a sequel. It ended up being like the Top Gear Daredevil that came on PS2 was like another one of the games that they made, but speaking of games that were made on that, Rare actually, I believe, kind of exploded during the N64 era. I mean, you had Banjo, you had Banjo-Tooie, you had Donkey Kong 64, which just got moved to NSO, which is kind of cool. You also, there's a bunch of Diddy Kong Racing, Conker's Bad Fur Day, which great game, in my opinion. I know some other people don't really enjoy it.
Guys, it's overrated. I promise it's overrated.
But there's a lot of rare.
You have GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Blast Core.
Yep. Yeah. There's insane just how much the Rare blew up, because Rare before that, they were making games, but nothing to the extent of what they made on the N64.
Right.
Now, when you got your N64 for the first time, were you kind of confused how to hold the controllers?
I feel like you realize the stick is pretty good right away, and so I didn't have any issues. I think maybe like older people may have been like, now we're getting to the point of too many buttons. But
yeah, I agree. Now, the N64 always had different color controllers, different consoles. Do you guys have a favorite console version of the N64, or do you not? Can't really care. It's just like, just play it.
I only ever had the normal one, but it did come with the semi-transparent purple controller.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, atomic purple see-through controller, so sick.
I see people trying to bring those back now, like the transparent housings for electronics.
Like the analog pocket has like some atomic coloring, which is really fun. Yeah. I just had the regular growing up, and then I had just like the plain Jane gray controller.
Yep.
For my 64 until I destroyed the joystick on that game.
Oh yeah, those joysticks don't last very long.
No, there's a company that makes like new N64 controllers that work for the N64, but they use a GameCube stick instead of an N64 stick, and it's night and day better. Yeah. So much more responsive and just better in general.
Yeah, I think 8-Bit Doe makes N64 controllers as well.
Yep.
That might be who I'm thinking of.
Could be.
Now, did you guys decide to, like, at that point, you probably both were on SNES for a while. Did you automatically just make the jump to N64, or were you kind of like, oh, I'll still play some games with my SNES at that point? Or was it kind of
SNES? SNES was still pumping out games for like 2 or 3 years after the 64 came out.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I got Mario RPG the same day I got a Nintendo 64. So you think I'm gonna just abandon my boy Gino? Are you a crazy person?
No, not yet.
No. Yeah, I jumped off pretty quick. I do remember when I got towards like the PS2 era. That was when I actually started going back and getting a lot of Super Nintendo games from places like EB Games because they were just trying to get rid of all of them. So there was that really short, weird window of history where Super Nintendo games were dirt cheap.
Yeah.
No, that's just completely backwards now.
Yeah. It's insane. Yeah. Earthbound was for the SNES. It's now expensive, and even though it's come out like multiple consoles, it's like, well, if you want the cart, it's still going to cost you like $300. So
I was gonna say the cart's really expensive right now.
Yeah, don't make. It's like, well, you can play it everywhere else now, except now it's like, well, I still want the physical cartridge, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's like $300 last I heard, maybe.
Yeah, it's nuts. It don't make sense. Now, when you guys think about the N64, like, what is the first thing that pops in your head? Like, if first thing in childhood that pops in your head, you're like, that's my recollection of my N64 period.
Joe, you got something?
Sure. Like first thoughts for, I guess, like childhood thoughts of the N64 is just like running around in Zelda and like how 3D was just so new for video games at that point, and everything, it just felt like such a step up from the Super Nintendo that everything just it felt like you could go anywhere and like do anything. It was just everything felt so new. My first immediate thoughts of the N64 are games where you can't see anything because the cameras had not been really figured out back then.
Yeah.
No, a lot of I will say I had a ton of fun just like growing up during that time, because I remember going to like a bunch of just different kids in my neighborhood, their houses, and we would play video games together. So I just like distinctly remember going and playing like Mario Kart with a bunch of other kids, and going playing like Pokemon Stadium and stuff like that. Like we would each bring like our like Pokemon Red and Blue, and like the one kid whose parents were like expansion or like connector pack money, like, excuse me, we would like plug in our Pokemon Blue, transfer over our Gyarados, and then we would do battle.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. That was one thing the N64 had. Some games you couldn't play without the expansion pack, which was like, oh, that's weird. And then you had the Rumble pack, was another thing that they added, which your controller didn't rumble. That was something that came along, I'd say probably PS2, maybe, I guess PS1 had a few, but not many. But it was N64 kind of started adding stuff to it, like Sega tried to do with the Genesis, but not as well.
You even had a microphone for "Hey You Pikachu."
Yeah,
true.
Which apparently is actually a really high quality microphone. There's like videos of people actually taking them and making them work on a PC and testing them, and they're like the same quality as like a Blue Yeti.
So you're saying me yelling the worst things imaginable to Pikachu was heard loud and clear? I'm cooked. It's over.
No wonder Pikachu didn't listen to us.
I accused him of 9/11, I think, at least 5 different times.
Oh, no. Now, what do you guys think is like the history looking back on N64? Like, what do you think the N64 did for the gaming genre as a whole? Bill, if you want to go first.
I mean, like, really, all you have to do is look at, like, Mario 64, right? I mean, truly one of the first just games where you felt like you could do anything when it first came out. And really just between that and the way it uses a lot of its controls are how control schemes for a lot of games are still set up to this day, 30 plus years later. It's crazy to see just like how influential Nintendo was on the game. And same with Ocarina of Time, where like the Z targeting, is kind of a mechanic that has been used again now for the last 30 years and is like just like an integral part of a lot of games. And so I guess like, all you can really say is like they really were paving the way for the industry at the time.
I agree. Joe, is there anything that you feel like that he didn't see the N64 as change the gaming?
No, I think he pretty much covered it. It was, there were other 3D consoles, like PS1 and everything, but I think the N64, it used, I feel like it almost used 3D in maybe more of a variety of ways in terms of like giving you more access to like party games, like you had Smash and Mario Party, where the 3D was used for a lot of different things.
Yeah,
and it wasn't just for things like adventure games or anything. That too, but yeah, I always felt like there was almost more. I don't know. I don't want to say exploration, but a little bit more. They tried a little bit more. There was a little more variety in what they attempted with N64.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was the one thing about the N64 too. I was like one of the first consoles with more than 2-player, that you could play with. I mean, the 4 players.
The 4 players. Are you kidding? 4 people at the same time? That's crazy.
Yep. And then, I mean, obviously, PS1 tried to do it with the multi-tap, and they tried to go with like 6 players, but it never felt the same as like with the N64 had the 4 players, and you're like, oh,
because only like 4 people had PS1s.
Yeah.
But like everybody had an N64. At least like in my experience, I encountered a lot more Nintendo households in the like 90s than I did PlayStation households.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, why do you think the N64 was more out there than other consoles? Like you said, even at that point, the Saturn wasn't even, big anymore.
Because of one Italian man. I think, honestly, I think it's simple as that. Like, in that era before the N64 came out, like you only had a couple of like true gaming mascots in the universe, where it's like you had Mario, you had Sonic, and then you had floppy disks, and people knew Mario. I mean, like there was a movie that came out in the early 90s. There was constant promotion and stuff like that. So like Mario really was already a part of like the zeitgeist before the N64 even came out. So when they're like, oh, it's Mario, and also it's the first 3-dimensional game that you've ever played in your life. Welcome to the future. The future is now. It makes sense where, he would be the driving force.
Makes sense. Now, the N64 did have a lot of bangers, did do a lot for the industry, but there's gonna be positives and there's always negatives, with every console, don't matter what. PS1 had a terrible, their CD-ROM thing, the spin in the middle, I don't know what you want to call it, that always kind of went bad. The Dreamcast had its issues with its laser going bad and never being able to read discs after first couple years. What do you guys think was like the biggest oopsie on the N64? Well, if you could think of one anyway.
I would say the controller design, because I remember that if you think about the amount of buttons on the N64 controller, there's quite a few, but it's like so few of them were actually used. Like the D-pad, I rarely ever found a game that ever used the D-pad. And so then I remember specifically in World Is Not Enough, there being just weird control inputs for like cycling through your gadgets and stuff. Like you had to hold B and press A to cycle through gadgets, and then hold A and press B to cycle through weapons. It was weird, and it didn't necessarily have to be. And that also, I think, affected camera controls a bit too, because you need to use all these buttons, like the C buttons and everything. But then you kind of have this not very useful section of the controller.
Mhm.
And it's actually, in terms of layout, if you just got rid of that little prong on the little handle on the left side and just kind of shifted it over, it could be a fairly modern controller design just without another thumbstick.
Yeah.
So I think that the controller layout confusion kind of hampered some games, because it's like, how do we design around this? Like, when we know a lot of these buttons aren't going to be used.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they basically were the SNES with 3 prongs coming out of it and a Z pad, Z button,
Yeah.
and a stick, I guess. But Bill, what do you think? It was like another downfall of the N64 that they
I
could
don't-
have done better.
So I don't think the Nintendo 64 necessarily had like a downfall, but I think like one of the biggest criticisms you could bring to it is it has a pretty small game library.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only, I want to say, like 160 some odd games for the entire console, and that covers every game that was ever published for it, which is for a game console period, that is an incredibly small library.
Yeah.
Like NES, SNES, and GameCube, just like the consoles around it, blow it out of the water with title numbers.
Yeah.
But Nintendo and Square kind of went their separate ways, and I think that hurt the library thing a lot. And a lot of people attribute Square leaving Nintendo to the fact that they were still using cartridges, whereas Sony moved on to the discs, which had, you could have more storage for the games. They could, load faster, do better graphics. Everybody talks about like Final Fantasy VII, which at the time was maybe the most beautiful game to have ever come out.
Yep.
And you compare it to like any of Mario 64's, Nintendo 64 graphics, and it's pretty like archaic looking back. Sure, like in the moment it was amazing, but like, does it really stand the test of time?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, guys, have you tried going back and playing like Perfect Dark or GoldenEye lately? Those games play like ass.
Yeah.
Just like straight up, like if you think those games control well by today's standards, I don't think you've played a game by today's standards.
It is kind of rough going back.
Yeah.
C buttons the frustration. What is happening?
See, I actually, when I played Jet Force Gemini for the first time, it felt normal to me, and then I played on the rare replay, and I'm like, what? Where's my, okay, hold on. Let me figure this out. Say, update it to the new control scheme. I was like, this is weird.
Yeah, now, and talking about, sorry to cut you off, just wanted to mentioning the graphic difference between the N64 and the PS1. I remember going to my friend's house and seeing him play Final Fantasy VIII, and being between the cutscenes and even just the normal in-game models, actually, kind of almost having hands. It was like a whole other. It felt like it was like space age.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
insane.
Obviously, the N64 had the best hands in video games with Glover. That actually looked like a
hey yo.
Oh my gosh, one of my friends loved to quote the section in WWE where they go, this section is brought to you by Glover. Gotta love the glove.
Love the glove.
Yeah,
was that an OJ Simpson commercial?
If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. No. Now, like when you guys, obviously Zelda came out on the N64, I think that was, I would say that might have been the biggest game for the N64. I'd say it's bigger than Mario. I mean, Mario was a big step, but I feel like when Ocarina of Time came out, that was the quintessential N64 game. Now, have you both beaten it for Ocarina of Time, or is that one of the games that's kind of, you haven't got through yet because you were a kid and we didn't know what to do, and now it's like, well, it's kind of late now, and I'll play it on a different console, I guess.
That was one of the few games I did beat as a kid, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, to this day, I haven't beaten it. I still call my dad every once in a while and make him play it for me. No, I've beaten it a few times.
Yeah. Now, then after that, Majora's Mask came out, which I feel like they took a step back with Majora's Mask compared to Ocarina of Time, because I felt like Ocarina of Time was a lot bigger and there's more. Felt like more to do, but I get the mask situation and only having 3 days. I think that's kind of what messed with me at that point. But I mean, I think that without the N64, I don't think the GameCube would have been as popular as it is. Like if they skipped
Absolutely not.
Oh, for sure.
SNES,
But I need
GameCube.
to defend Majora's Mask just from a technical standpoint.
Yeah, good.
Imagine a video game comes out today, right? And it's like one of the best games you've ever played. Like 10 out of 10 game, sets the industry standard for what that genre of game should be.
Yeah.
You have 12 months to make a sequel to this game. Go.
Yeah.
A 12-month turnaround to create an entirely new game with some new mechanics, new music, new things to do, an entire story to write, plus the mechanic of time travel and stuff. Are you kidding? That's an insane amount of stuff they had to do to turn around and say, you know what, Majora's Mask, here you go. Such it kind of incredible.
Yeah. Now,
just think of it as a roguelike.
Now, like I was saying earlier, Rare was the big console game for or company for Nintendo. Why do you think that Nintendo didn't try and keep them for the GameCube era and ended up Microsoft coming in and buying them and kind of ruining them after that? But
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure if it was a Nintendo just wasn't interested in acquiring Rare. I don't know if there were issues with leadership or Rare was asking for too much. I don't know why they ended up going to Microsoft as opposed to sticking around.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that is tough. I know that they felt like they had trouble after Donkey Kong because they felt like they had to have done too much almost with Donkey Kong. Whereas you have to keep on adding more things to collect. Next game has to be bigger. And then they got to where they felt like Donkey Kong was too big. And from what I've heard from people talk about Donkey Kong, it's kind of seems to be the case for a lot of people. So I don't know if maybe that played into it some. Maybe somebody at Nintendo wanted more of that and they didn't want to go that way. Maybe Microsoft promised some more a little more creative freedom, or just paid a whole lot more maybe.
So I'm looking at this now and it's looking like Microsoft paid Nintendo a fat stack of money. And I'll say this. Name some bangers that Rare came out with after they left Nintendo.
Yeah.
Name one. Just one title.
I mean, Grab by the Ghoulies wasn't bad, but it wasn't Banjo-Kazooie.
Yes, I love how people are you know what, thinking on my childhood #1 game of all time, Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Golly.
I remember my friend mentioning how that game was not ready whatsoever, and
it wasn't.
They even Rare even told Microsoft, "We can't release this game like this. Everyone's gonna hate it. It's not ready." And Microsoft just went, "Do it."
They said, "Chicken says what?"
I mean, I guess in the three. I mean, obviously, Perfect Dark Zero wasn't a great, sequel. And then, I mean,
it was bad.
Viva Pinata might be just because of the way.
Viva Pinata is maybe Rare's most successful non-Nintendo game.
Yeah, because it just didn't. I don't know. They just didn't hit. They lost their stride after the N64 because they had less characters to model their game around. But I mean, I feel like I mean,
they could have made their own Scrimblow Blimblow. It's not hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if they would have had Yuka, Yuka and Laylee, I mean...
If they made Ukulele, like, right as the 360 was, like, kicking in, that would have... Well, they had Banjo at the time. They could have just made Banjo 3, but they decided to make Banjo-Kazooie Tears of the Kingdom, but worse. And they're like, play nuts and bolts. It's Banjo. And then they said, we're going to make fun of our own games, but, like, be real shitty about it. And people are going to be like, yeah, that's the ticket. Everybody hated Nuts and Bolts when it first came out. And anybody who says that they didn't hate Nuts and Bolts when it first came out is a dirty liar.
Shout Josh Jepson.
Sorry, that game was ass from the get. I'm sure it has aged gracefully or whatever, but I'd rather just play Tears of the Kingdom at this point in time. It's the same game, but better.
Yep. Now, do you always think that N64 was a platforming console? I mean, obviously the PS1 had their RPGs, Sega Saturn had their what did Sega Saturn have? Not much. But
I mean, it definitely was a golden era for 3D platforming. But do I think the best 3D platformers are on the N64? People argue that Mario 64 has just like not been able to be touched since it launched, which I think is the most boomer opinion you can have about games, period. Because like almost every subsequent Mario 3D game is better than Mario 64.
Oh yeah, I agree.
In my opinion, even Sunshine, guys.
Yeah,
like
underrated.
They're all good. They're all Mario games. There's no such thing as a bad 3D Mario. They don't exist.
Yep. The problem with Sunshine, my opinion, for everybody that's never played Sunshine, is Chucksters and Plinko.
Oh yeah,
and Watermelon.
I mean, there's a lot going on there.
Those three, I'm done with those three. But no, I enjoyed my N64 time. I enjoyed playing Mario Party with the family or
getting a phone call real quick. I'll be right back.
Playing Mario Party with the family or Mario Kart with the family. I mean, stuff like that. Obviously playing GoldenEye or Perfect Dark, where GoldenEye you're not allowed to play as Odd Job because he was too short and shoot him. But
right, you couldn't play as Odd. It was kind of like in Perfect Dark, you weren't allowed to play as Elvis.
Yep. Yeah, Elvis was iconic too.
Hacks.
Now, did you ever play either of those, GoldenEye or Perfect Dark?
I used to play Perfect Dark all the time, and so my buddy owned it. I never owned either of them, but his mom at the time was like super like low-key anti-video game, but like definitely like anti like violence in video games.
Right.
But Perfect Dark had the perfect solution because Perfect Dark had cheat codes, and you could put in a cheat code called like paintball mode.
Yep.
So like when you got shot with a bullet, instead of it turning like a weird dark red, it would just like go like different like vibrant colors. So like you would still be using an Uzi blasting someone, but instead of like being sprayed red, they would look like Dippin' Dots.
True. Now, I think that was another game that Rare learned a lot from GoldenEye to make Perfect Dark.
I mean, Perfect Dark is just better than GoldenEye in every way.
The story, I think, was better.
The story's better. The gameplay was way better. Having a dual ability for each weapon was such a good way to handle it.
Now, what happened is the question after that, because Zero was just so bad that I don't understand how they went and took 3 steps back.
I wonder if just they lost a lot of their staff, so that's why when they made the jump from Nintendo to Microsoft, they had lost a lot of their good thinkers, and they were like, well, we still have the IPs, so let's just slap any old garbage together and with one of our proven IPs, and people will love it. And then they're like, enjoy Perfect Dark 0, as in 0 on Metacritic.
Now I'll ask you guys. There's still some games that are stuck on N64 that haven't been released on NSO or haven't been remade or anything. Is there any games that you're like, man, I'd love to have this game, pop up on NSO or be remade? I mean, obviously, Ocarina of Time is getting remade, which I think that's going to be a big hit for Nintendo. And they announced it's coming this year, which is kind of crazy. So we'll see. You think Majora's Mask gets the remake too and ends up being DLC? Because people are saying that.
I think I have to wait and see, because if they keep a lot of what made Ocarina of Time, like if it's like a similar control scheme, but like the game is just gorgeous,
right?
I would love to see a remake. But if they turn it into like how like Final Fantasy VII got remade, I don't know that I'd be as on board.
Okay. Now, do you think Majora's Mask would do better with the remake? If they did?
I think it would just, again, I think it would just have to stay somewhat faithful to the original. I think if you, like I said, like kept a lot of like the maps and, key things the same, I think that it would work. But if they're trying to like create a brand new experience altogether, it doesn't, it almost like doesn't make sense. It'd be like just make a new Zelda if you're going to be making a new game anyway.
Right. I agree. I understand that. Is there, like I was saying, is there any games that you love to see remade from the N64 era?
Yes. I'm looking for remakes of 3 games. Okay? 3 games. Game 1. Snowboard Kids. Game 2. Game 2, Kirby 64.
Ooh, yeah.
If they could make another game where you could combine powers, money. It like literally, I will buy it 3 times. Third game, now this one, hear me out. Beetle Adventure Racing.
Ooh, yeah.
You tell me you don't want to whip through the hills of Coventry Cove and drive like through an icicle mountain or a tropical desert? Come on now.
Yeah, Beetle Adventure Racing was great.
So good.
I'm surprised because I've seen a lot more at arcades and stuff like this. I don't know if you all played them, but the Cruisin' series.
Love Cruisin'.
USA, Exotica, and World. It's like they haven't been re-released, for anything else, and I'm surprised they haven't a remake for any of them.
They're in arcades still. I feel like they still make like Cruisin' games. I also really liked like California Speed, which was just cruising with a different title.
Yep.
But you could drive a golf cart in that one, and also pick the colors of your car, which rad.
Did either of you play San Francisco Rush?
Nope.
Oh,
Can't say that I have.
San Francisco Rush is like insane kind of racing.
I feel like it would be unrealistic because you can't actually drive that fast in the San Francisco area because there's too much damn traffic.
Yep, you could actually do like flips and stuff in the cars,
Oh, you could still do flips.
30,000 pound car flipping it, but it was cool. Now, you both obviously love the N64. I mean, I think everybody loves the N64 at one point or another. It was our game of our childhood. Now, nowadays, we don't get as many of the. I mean, we get great games still. We have great opportunities, but nothing feels like when you first played your N64. Why do you think nowadays, like gaming is it more about the money now than it was back then? And was more about, the love of the game, love of creation, the love of, seeing what people could do with their games, play them, complete them, and now it just feels like, well, let's just throw them out there if they're not complete, like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, which I'm still upset about. But like, do you feel like there's a difference between back then and now?
Joe, I'm going to let you take this one here.
Thank you. I'd say it's kind of two things. One, absolutely, games are significantly more monetized than they were back then. Because I feel like even for Nintendo back then, they didn't see dollar signs like companies do now. Because they were successful, but the gaming industry back then wasn't beating out Hollywood like it is now. Right. And marketing people back then had marketing degrees. They didn't have gambling psychology degrees.
True.
Like, Call of Duty. But I think also the N64 was just such a big jump because you went from the Super Nintendo, which was all 2D, to the N64, which is all 3D now, and you can. It's going to be kind of hard to make another leap from like 3D to 4D with another console. So it's difficult to get that kind of a jump in terms of technology, but that added a lot of opportunities to see more of the worlds for these different IPs like Donkey Kong, Mario, Zelda specifically. I think just because of the nature of being able to explore in more depth. So I think probably that generational leap was one of the most significant jumps that you could possibly have.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Now, you both have played a lot of the newer consoles. What do you like? What are some things you see that the N64 has done for the company or for gaming as a whole? Because I mean, like some stuff, obviously it's cartridge was a thing, and now it's not really a thing as much because they don't really, make cartridges. I mean, they make their little game cards and discs and stuff like that, which discs are apparently going away. If you guys have heard about Grand Theft Auto 6, but like, what are some stuff that you still see like the N64 has like made?
I mean, like we said at the beginning of the episode, right, where, we had the analog stick. The analog stick was introduced with the N64 and is still the standard today, 30 years later. I do think Nintendo was the first to do Rumble. So I guess like some sort of like haptic feedback started with Nintendo. Also, Super Smash Brothers is still very important in the year of our Lord 2026. But that's just me thinking outside the bun. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think that it's the control sticks are a big one. Which is kind of funny that I mentioned. I always say that like the N64 was kind of held back by its controls, but at the same time, it also did give us a joystick. So kind of a big one there. I think that it really kind of popularized like 3D adventure games because there were tons of them on that. Like not even just the usual ones like going obviously Zelda and Mario, but also things like Castlevania was a big one, made a jump over to 3D, even though those were maybe not exactly the most well-received entries in the Castlevania series.
Sure.
Still, everyone was trying 3D adventure, and now, and like, good luck finding something that's kind of not in that vein now.
You kind of really only see them in the indie space. Like, you don't see too many like first party like. I can't even really say that because like Donkey Kong Bonanza, just dropped within the last year, and then we also had Sony have its little mascot platformer with Astrobot, and that won Game of the Year 2 years ago. So I guess you really like 3D platforming is kind of on a come up a little bit.
Yeah.
And listen, the only reason that people didn't like the Nintendo Direct that just happened was because there was not a new 3D Mario.
Yeah.
Because it was like perfect otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, that was kind of what I was going to ask you guys about because I knew the new Direct just came out, and there wasn't a new Mario game for the Switch 2 yet, which kind of seems odd to me because I mean Nintendo's always had their Mario game coming out for that console. I mean, obviously, Switch or GameCube had the Sunshine, we had the Galaxy and Galaxy 2. Wii U just didn't survive long enough. And then, I mean, obviously, Switch, I think, with the best Mario game of all time, Odyssey. Um, why do you think it was because that they brought out Donkey Kong Bonanza for the Switch 2, and that's kind of why they didn't have time to make a new Mario game?
Here's my thought process on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, every 3D Mario has had some unique gameplay choices that have been really like just wildly different from anything that they had done before.
Mm-hmm.
New ways to move, new ways to interact with things, new ways to explore.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you that Donkey Kong Bonanza started as a Mario game, but the mechanics were more tailored to a character that beat the snot out of stuff, so it became a Donkey Kong game. I bet they're still cooking up some like wacky mechanics for a 3D Mario, but it's just not quite ready yet. I'm not worried because, like we've said, there has not been a bad 3D Mario game. Bad 3D Mario games do not exist. And if you say they are, you're not a gamer. Just bottom line, like, just don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like Mario Odyssey, maybe just like the best 3D platformer we've ever gotten. In like the way it controls, the way that it's actually secretly Banjo-Kazooie 3.
Yep.
And like just totally fantastic. But yeah, I think we're still cooking. So I think we'll get one soonish, but it'll probably be another year or two before comes down the pipeline.
Now, while you were gone, Joe, me and Bill were talking about Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, and first-person shooters. I know is kind of up your arsenal, no pun intended. But what like in those games there, what do you think they did for like the first-person shooters as a whole going forward?
For those ones specifically, I guess those ones really are kind of. It seems like everybody kind of references back to those ones, those two specifically. In terms of like FPS games on the N64, I have to bring up World Is Not Enough again with bots in the split screen and free play, whatever you want to call it, because that was something that I think we all kind of take that for granted now, but that was extraordinarily uncommon back then. That was very difficult for a lot of games to do. And that sort of thing was pretty huge, especially considering, online play wasn't a thing back then. You also, how often were you going to get 4 people together to all play, a shooting game together? You could play that and even just have 2 people, get your friend or your neighbor over, play teams against bots. And that was huge.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, definitely. Now, it's been, like I said, 30 years, and it just kind of blows me away that the N64 is, still incredible going back to it this day. I mean, some games, like we said, haven't aged as well, but I mean, still going back and playing Pokemon Stadium on it, or Pokemon Snap, which we didn't even
True.
but it just, I don't know, it just brings you back to your childhood at that point. It's just like, this is cool stuff. I didn't have a worry in the world. I was, 6 or 7 or 8. I was, having fun, burning my hand on the control stick while I'm spinning it. It just brings it back to chiller times nowadays, consoles don't really have that. I don't feel like. I mean, yeah, you'll get your when you first played your Nintendo Switch and PS5, PS4, whatever. But just it doesn't have the same love I feel like the N64 did when it kind of brought you in and caressed you as a child. Maybe not the right choice of words, but
Okay.
I mean, what I mean. But now, I'll ask both of y'all this because there's been a lot. Marvel's coming out with new movies, and there's been a lot of new stuff that's coming out. Is there any new shows you guys are watching right now?
Television shows that I'm watching, yeah, there's a network, a comedy network that I have been watching a lot of. Their main focus is Dungeons and Dragons, but I'm not a D&D person. Okay. But like they have a bunch of other comedy stuff that I am just like gung ho in, and it's called Dropout TV, and it's from all of the folks who were a part of College Humor. Yeah. Back in the day, and they have their own like streaming service, and I highly recommend it. I think it's like $6 a month or something. It's dirt cheap.
Yeah, I've been going through YouTube Shorts, and all of a sudden it's just popping up on my thing, and watching Josh and a few other people, watching them get him having to carry a big old baby of Sam, and then a human-sized Sam. Mm-hmm. And it's just great. Is there anything that you've been watching, Joe?
Well, like I mentioned last time, Canada's Worst Drivers and Canada's Worst Handyman. those are always so great to watch. I have been thinking of going back and rewatching Twin Peaks, though.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, okay.
I really love that show, and it's a good one to introduce to your girlfriends if you ever have one.
hey babe, you want to watch a story about a dead girl in a lake?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's that is a show I've watched with all of my girlfriends before, and they love it. It's a good one.
This is how I would hide the body. Now, have you guys been playing new games recently? I know there's been a few that have come out, but is there anything that's kind of popping up?
Joe, what have you been playing?
Well, I did just get King Arthur Knight's Tale on the Steam Summer Sale, which is a turn-based strategy King Arthur game, which is kind of like a grittier take on King Arthur, which reminds me a lot of the Tainted Grail game, which is kind of like a Skyrim-esque game, which it wound up being one of the best games I have ever played in my life. I loved everything about it. So, yeah, it's Tainted Grail: Fall of Avalon.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's check it out.
Can't recommend it enough.
Cool.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you both are into this, but there is a movie from our childhood that is coming back out for the last movie. It's kind of new movie with also some old footage. But Jackass 5 just came out yesterday.
Oh, Jackass Best and Last.
Yep.
I'm so pissed right now. You have no idea. So, my brother, Thrill House Max.
Shout out Thrilly.
He decided to fly back home to visit his family for 2 weeks right as Jackass comes out. And I don't know how long movies are in theaters for, but is 2 weeks? Could it be gone? I don't know.
Depends how it does.
I don't know. I need him to see it, because if it's a movie about boys being boys and kicking each other in the business and pushing them down hills and porta potties and stuff, then I need him to see it with me.
Yep. Yeah, we grew up on the Jackass set here, all 5 of them. Well, 4 of them now, this 5th one, which is insane to see all of them. But
listen, nothing will beat department store boxing with Butterbean. So good. So good.
Oh man.
Yeah. I remember Knoxville talking about that, where like as soon as they were about to start, he just saw Butterbean go into fight mode, and he just like goes from normal Butterbean, happy-go-lucky, friendly guy to I'm gonna kill you. Like, oh no, I've made a horrible mistake.
Now I'm gonna ask you guys a question because we're all Jackass fans. Who's your favorite Jackass character?
I mean, like I don't know. I think I gotta go Johnny.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, just like he's the happy-go-lucky one. He seems like, I don't know, just like the vibes around him.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite, Joe?
Yeah, I would say it's probably Johnny. He's one of those guys who he might be the kind of like the leader of them, but he's always the first one to go up and do whatever anyone else is scared to do. Like when they were testing the claymore that fires out the rubber balls, and he was trying to talk everyone into doing it. He was just like, if I have to go up and do this alone, then I'll do it myself. That's the only reason the other guys went up.
Yeah, it was him, Bam, and I think it was Dunn that ended up doing it.
So yeah,
and
he was the only one left standing too.
Yeah, Bam was dying on the ground. Bam's always been my favorite, but that's because I always love Viva La Bam and Wild Boys and all that stuff. So,
is Bam in the new one?
He's apparently he's in older footage that they're.
Oh, okay.
Which I was kind of hoping they would throw him. It's the last one. Why not bring Bam back just for the last one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of reasons why they wouldn't bring Bam back for certain stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of burned a lot of bridges with those people too, because he's been a little unhinged.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot better though. If you guys have seen him on YouTube, I mean, he's been way doing more stuff with Tony Hawk now. He's actually
back into skating.
Yep, he's in the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 games now because
that's true.
But apparently, yeah, he's coming around a lot. His parents were actually at the Jackass premiere last night in California, so that's kind of cool to see.
Yo, poor Phil. Phil straight up just got his shit rocked by like every opportunity. Phil just gets his shit rocked. Yeah, like it's 4 a.m. Phil's gonna be pissed, and they light fireworks in his truck. Like, what the hell? Yeah. Or they just run into the bathroom while he's on the toilet, and they just start slapping the shit out of him, and then they run away laughing. Like, that's not even a prank. That's just beating an old man.
Rest in peace, Don Vito. Oh man. Yep. Yeah, I'm so amazed that stuff from our childhood is still making a comeback nowadays. Or it's big. Has another sequel. I mean, obviously, Toy Story 5's out now too. So
it was a cute movie.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. It was cute.
Okay. Was it better than or should they stopped at 3? Because I heard
I still believe they should have stopped at 3.
Yeah. 4 was I like 4 a little bit, but they kind of tried to split it up again between the two.
4 was weird. 5 just felt like kind of a nothing burger.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Super Mario had their movies, and did you guys both see the new Super Mario movie?
Yeah.
Oh man, you gotta check it out. It's a great movie.
It's pretty good.
I just don't like all the celebrity voices and stuff. Like,
I get it. Yeah. Now, the Zelda movie, you guys gonna look at that one when it comes out, or are you just gonna see?
Of course, day one
coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a live action Zelda movie coming out.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would have been really excited for that as a kid.
You know what? I'm excited after it because I'm still a kid at heart. Man, I'm literally wearing a Pokemon t-shirt right now, okay?
Yeah, true. Let's see, what else is coming out now? Supergirl just came out, which is the DC sequel to Superman. Which, what's his face? James Gunn's kind of turned that DC around a little bit with the Superman movie, so maybe this will be good.
Did Gunn do Supergirl too?
Yep, he also did Peacemaker. If you guys watch Peacemaker,
I like Peacemaker.
Peacemaker's great. You ever watch Peacemaker, Joe?
No, let me Google that one real quick.
It's a John Cena vehicle.
Yeah,
where he plays the titular character, and it is I would say a very raunchy take on the superhero genre.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so kind of like The Boys or whatever.
Kind of think The Boys, but like on like a much smaller scale and way heavier focused on comedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Deadpool types of comedy.
Yeah, I would say like similar comedic stylings to that of Deadpool.
Yeah, which great movie too. If you haven't seen that. Also, speaking of our childhood, did you hear that Avengers is coming back out with and extended scenes for Endgame?
That movie was already too long.
Yep. I was about to say I haven't seen it, but I've heard people talk about how it's like.
Yeah,
like
so,
movie's already too. What are they going to show? Are they going to show that one character dying for an extra 7 minutes?
Yep.
Yes.
No, Spider-Man, I'm so cold.
I really, really, really don't feel good, Mr. Stark.
Yeah, so what the new one's going to be, it's going to be I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, I think they said, something like that. It's not going to be too extreme, but basically it's going to be showing Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. As a appearing.
Hey, spoiler alert, question. Is Dr. Doom and Tony Stark the same guy?
I don't know.
No.
That's what they're going to say.
I mean, I know it's the same actor. I just don't know if it's the same guy.
I mean, they are the multiverse, so I mean, they could do it. Like
his name's Victor Von Doom. That's why
they're just doing a whole bunch of goofy stuff. Like, just pay another actor. This is dumb.
No.
Victor Von Stark.
Like, to be fair, I'll say this. I treated Endgame as every other person should have treated Endgame. As the ending. All right? Why are we still watching Marvel movies in the big 2-6? Like, it's the same movie over and over again. We already had 30 of them leading up to Endgame, and there's been 15 since. Like, doesn't seem like much of an Endgame to me. Just like, sounds like middle game or perhaps even beginning game.
They had the Spider-Man or the Spider-Man movie come out with the 3 Spider-Men.
3D Spider-Man.
Yep.
What, 3D Spider-Man?
No, Far From Home. 3 Spider-Man.
Oh, 3 Spider-Man. I was like,
No
3D Spider-Man.
No way home. Well, I mean, they had the yeah.
The Spider-Verse is pretty cool, but that's a standalone thing.
Which the rumor is that Spider-Man and Sony might be selling to Disney.
That doesn't shock me at all. It does hurt my heart, though.
Yeah, which, I mean, I guess Disney's been wanting probably Spider-Man for years because it's one of the few, them and...
Disney's one of the only 3 companies that exists anymore.
Yep, them and Incredible Hulk want to, be together, and Incredible Hulk's owned by Universal, is now, I guess, trying to get Paramount again. So we'll see what happens there.
Listen, all TV is going to be Disney in 5 years, mark my word.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I do want to thank you both for being on here. What are you currently working on, Bill and Joe?
This is what I'm working on. 1, I'm back in the Pokemon card collecting hobby. And it is a violent sport, okay? A blood sport, if you will. I don't know if you've seen these people at like Targets and Walmarts and stuff. But people are throwing hands over cardboard, and it is fun to watch from the sideline. That being said, if you scalp Pokemon cards and you're watching this video, you're a bad person and you should feel bad.
You're the problem.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. And if you're a scalper of things that aren't Pokemon cards, also this applies to you. You're a bad person and you should feel bad.
Yep.
This has been my TED Talk.
Now, if they want to find you, it's obviously BillTheFajita on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah.
Eventually. And also, you have your own podcast.
We'll call it an old podcast. I haven't made a video for an episode in over a year.
Yeah,
so
you've got to get that creative juicing going again.
Listen, I'll stick to my 4 Let's Play episodes a year. Thank you very much.
Joe, obviously, your video game's coming out and Steam in a couple weeks.
Yep, on July 14th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maledictor.
Yep. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. Yeah. It's kind of first-person shooter, right?
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter, boomer shooter, in the same vein as the old Dooms, Blood, Duke Nukem.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sprite-based, everything. And been scrambling these last couple of weeks to add some new weapons in for some side grade options for it. So then that was just a spur of the moment decision. So getting those added in real quick before release.
What's the title of the game again?
Maledictor.
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 All right. Adding it to the Steam wish list now.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Now they can find you on Twitch at PerochialJoe and YouTube PerochialJoe.
Correct. And I also have the Armadillo Entertainment YouTube channel if you need some long-winded patch notes for a game that you can't play yet. Good for falling asleep to, I guess.
Right. Ain't that the truth? Be like, I don't understand anything. What's this? Now, thank you both for being on the episode. Thank you all for watching this episode, and definitely follow these two gentlemen. They're scholars and amazing people. See y'all later.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Let's see. Woo!